Hey guys, welcome to another video in Fusion Studios. So today, Volkswagen had launched its compact SUV, the Volkswagen Taigun. It was unveiled by the actor Roshan Abdul Rahouf at Thrissur today. So in this video, we will be going through all the features and specs of this vehicle and giving you our first impression. Entering the market just now, Taigun is set to compete with the likes of Hyundai Creta, Kia Seltos and the upcoming MG Aster. During the event, they have also claimed that the service cost of this unit have been decreased, which in my opinion is a good move by the company. They will be also launching a smartphone app through which users can know all the service related and cost related details, which will make everything more transparent and simple to understand. The Volkswagen Taigun offers the choice of a 1-liter turbo petrol with 115 PS of power and 178 Nm of torque. It also have a 1.5-liter turbo petrol which comes with a 150 PS of power and 250 Nm torque. The Volkswagen Taigun comes with a 6-speed manual or automatic gearbox with torque converter. Now let's move on to the variants and pricing of the Volkswagen Taigun. We get a Highline and Topline 1-liter TSI automatic transmission that comes with a price ranges of 14.09 lakh and 15.90 lakh ex-showroom prices. We also get a Topline 1-liter TSI manual transmission that comes at a price of 14.56 lakh ex-showroom price. The Volkswagen Taigun also have a GT line 1.5 TSI manual transmission that comes at a price of 14.99 lakhs ex-showroom price, and we have a GT line 1.5 TSI Dsg automatic transmission that comes at a price of 17.49 lakhs ex-showroom price. And here we are going to review the top variant, that is the GT line 1.5 TSI Dsg. The Volkswagen Taigun is available in 5 different colors: the wild cherry red, the candy white, the reflex silver, the carbon steel grey and the curcuma yellow, which we have here. And here we have the large headlamp clusters with DRL and LED lights, where the DRLs are illuminated now. The 3-slat chrome grille that sports an oversized Volkswagen logo seamlessly blends into the large headlamp clusters. On the front bumper we have some nice 3D chrome elements, and below that we have a hexagonal shaped grille. The Volkswagen Taigun have very good design elements all over the vehicle, and also it looks very muscular in person. The Volkswagen Taigun have a muscular elevated bonnet with chisel lines. We have gone through all the exterior front elements of the car. Now it's time to get into the engine part. The engine part looks very neat and packed. And like I have mentioned before, this is the top variant, that is the GT line 1.5 TSI that comes with a 7-speed Dsg Gearbox. And talking about the safety features, all variants of the Taigun get electronic stability control as standard, along with mandatory kits like ABS with EBD, dual airbags and reverse parking sensors. We also get a GT chrome badging between the front fender and the front doors. On the piano black finish on both the front doors, we get a Volkswagen branding. And here we have the rear view mirrors with the LED turn indicators. The door handles are having a nice and clean chrome element that is going through the center. Now this is the size of the fuel tank cover of the Volkswagen Taigun with the design lines flowing through them. The Volkswagen Taigun's most distinctive angle is its tail end. Nested in a large smoked bezel sit attractive LED tail lamps that are linked by a functional light bar which runs the width of the tailgate. The tail lights look particularly attractive when lit and appears like a futuristic concept vehicle. Adding more flash at the back are the chrome embellishments on the rear bumper that are designed to mimic twin exhaust housings. And just right above that we have the rear parking sensors. On the rear top we have the shark fin antenna. And below the spoilers we have a white brake lights. We have a rear wiper. We have the massive Volkswagen logo between the tail lights and the Volkswagen Taigun branding here. And moving on to the right we have a GT branding. Just below the Volkswagen logo we can find the rear parking camera. And on either sides of the parking camera we have some illumination lights. And by pressing the button position here we can open the tailgate. Now Aravind is going to show you how it's done. So as you can see, opening the boot is quite very easy. The Volkswagen Taigun gives a 385 liters of boot space. We can also fold the rear back seat with 60:40 split that creates a space for both the passengers and the luggage. On the right, we get a first aid and an illuminated light for the boot. And on the top part of both the sides, we have a place to hang the items. When we open the bottom part of the boot, we can clearly see the spare tire which is located there. On the top of the Volkswagen Taigun, we get a silver finished railing that extends up to the rear door. And also below the glasses, we get a nice chrome finish. Here we have the Curcuma Yellow colored spoilers and a dual tone exterior with the roof painted in carbon steel grey. And here we have the sunroof. Here we have the 17-inch Manila alloy wheels. The bolts of the alloy wheels are covered with a rubber cushion with the Volkswagen branding on it. Also we get a red painted calipers. The new Volkswagen Taigun is strikingly stylish inside out with sporty dual-tone premium interior colors. There are plenty of storage provisions across the cabin, like the massive door bins. We get a nice air-cooled storage here with a decent amount of space. And here is the controller for the cooling adjustments. The AC vents of the Volkswagen Taigun looks very stunning. We have a carbon fiber-like designs that joins the AC vents with the infotainment system. Here we have a classic handbrake, and below you can see the Volkswagen Taigun car key. Here we have the space for some cup holders and a narrow space to keep some keys. Below the handrest, you can find a massive space to store any items. Between the infotainment system and the AC controls, we have two AC vents here. For the first time, we get a sporty ambient lighting on the new Volkswagen Taigun. We get red ambient lighting for GT and white for Topline. The new Volkswagen Taigun have 6 speakers located on either side of the vehicles. One at the top, one at the bottom of the front door and the other one at the bottom of the back door, which is located exactly over here. On the right driver side door, we have a unlock and lock button that looks very stylish. Below we get a side mirror controls and also the controls for all the windows. And on the bottom we get a space to keep any items. And here we have the brake and acceleration pedal for the Volkswagen Taigun. The Volkswagen Taigun have ventilated seats to keep you cool in any condition. Here we have the manual adjustment levers to increase or decrease the height of the seats. Now the other lever is used to incline the seat forward or backward. The Volkswagen Taigun have leather plus leatherette seat upholstery. The Volkswagen Taigun have a new design change on the steering wheel with a new massive Volkswagen logo. On the left side of the steering wheel, we get some buttons for the cruise controls. And just below that, we have the controls for the volume. On the right, we have the voice command button. And beside that, we get some controls for the instrument cluster that we'll be reviewing later. And below we get some controls to change the music. Here we have the 8-inch digital cockpit instrument cluster where the user interface is customizable and lets you switch between analog and digital formats. Here you can see the analog speedometer and the RPM meter. On the top left we have the time and on the top right we have the temperature. The bottom left shows the mode and on the bottom right it shows the speed. We can change the menu from settings, no display, driving data, economy, average economy, distance or time, analog speed, gear display, oil temperature, audio, telephone, speed, etc. When we select the distance per time, we can see the distance moved and the time from the engine start. Behind the steering wheel, on the left side we have the turn indicator and the headlamp control, and on the right side we have the wiper controls. And just behind the steering wheel we have the paddle shifters. The Volkswagen Taigun have electronic stability control, have 6 airbags, multi-collision brakes, hill hold control, park distance control, etc. On the right bottom we can see the headlamp controls. First we have the brightness adjustment controls. Next we have the headlamp controls. So when you turn like this, now it's in off stage, and when you turn right it's in the auto mode, then the brightness mode, etc. Just like all the Volkswagen cars, you can also pull back to turn on the fog lamps. Here we have the 10-inch infotainment system. It supports wireless app connect with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We can add many phone numbers in this infotainment system. Here we have the radio, the Apple CarPlay, the Android Auto, the navigation, and also we can add more than one device. It also supports Wi-Fi connectivity. And also we have a music controller. These are all the controls that we get in the home screen. Next we have the music control where we can play any music even through Spotify from our phone. We can also connect to the radio, or we can even connect two USB devices at the same time. Next we have the power button to turn on or off the infotainment system. We can even lock the infotainment system with a password. Next we have the Volkswagen Play App Store. Now when you swipe to the right, we get all the driving data, the vehicle status and the notifications. In the driving data, we can see the fuel consumption in kilometer per liter, the time, the average speed and the trip in kilometers. On the bottom left, we have the volume icon where we can slide and adjust the volume levels. On the right top, we have the time, and beside that we have the profile icon. Here we can change the profiles, edit the name and avatar, or edit the security pin, or even delete the security pin. Now here we have the traction control, and on the bottom we have the settings. Now here are the quick settings like screen on or off, audio controls, connectivity controls, profile, lights, valet mode, and even the controls for adjusting the brightness. Inside the audio controls we can change from rock, pop, classic or even custom. Also we have the balance or fader, and on the right we can change the bass, mid and treble. Let's go back and select the light controls. Now in the interior light controls, here we have the instrument cluster or panel lighting controls and the front light controls. Now in the exterior light section, we have the coming home and leaving home controls, the convenience indication control, the turn on time control, and also the rain dependency control, which is used to turn on the light automatically during the rain. Now let's select the media settings. Here we have the settings for audio, Bluetooth, tuner settings and unmount settings. Inside the app settings, first we have the order by settings where we can order the apps in alphabetic or installation data order. We also have the app management settings and the Wi-Fi settings. And finally we have the notifications option where all the notifications will be shown here. And finally, as I have mentioned earlier, we get two USB-C type ports below. Now when we switch to reverse mode, here we have the parking camera turned on and the quality of the rear camera is good. Now below the infotainment system we have the hazard and auto switches, and here we have the smart full touch climatic AC control. We can change the temperature and the fan speed by touching the plus or minus icons or by sliding through it. We can also change the mode by touching this icon. Now moving down to the bottom, here we have the Dsg Gearbox. On the left side we have a 12-volt socket, and on the right side we have the engine start or stop button that is located over here. And like you all know, the Volkswagen Taigun is having the keyless entry function. Now this is the place for the wireless charging function. You can place your mobile there if your phone supports wireless charging. Here we have the auto dimming rear view mirror, and just above that on either sides we get the illumination lights, and for that we have the controls exactly over here. And on the middle we have the button to adjust the electric sunroof. Here we have the sunshade for the driver, and on the left we have the sunshade with a mirror for the passenger. Here we have a manual shield for the sunroof, so let's open it. And here we have the massive sunroof, and now it's time to open the electric sunroof. A rear passenger can easily stand through the sunroof without any discomfort. Now it's time to close the sunroof. And finally, let's close the sunroof shield. Now let's move on to the rear seats. Here we get a nice black and white dual tone rear seats, and the seats are very comfy to sit on. Now let's flip this down, and as you can see, there are two cup holders here. There is a decent amount of space on the back side of the rear seats. As you can see, we get a good amount of leg space in the rear passenger seats of the Volkswagen Taigun. Here we have the back seat pockets. And what's also nice is that by the low window line, the ambient light is filtering through. Also for the rear passengers, we have the adjustable AC vents, and right below that we have two USB-C type ports. And finally, just above the rear passenger seats, we have two adjustable lights. So this is all about the Volkswagen Taigun 2021 model. So thank you for watching the video guys. Hit the like button, and if you have any doubts, comment in the comment section below. We have also given the contact details of Volkswagen showroom Thrissur in the description box below. If you are not yet a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get our latest updates.